So we got the crypto black swan reports, guys, of the craziest event that happened to the entire crypto market yesterday. And this is going to be a recap of what happened, guys, and people tweeting about their story here. And it's pretty sad. I've been looking through my feed on Twitter, and guys, it's honestly heartbreaking, right? That these insiders and market makers went for the crypto kill. So here we go. From Connor, I counted 1,010 traders that are down 100K plus today, and 206 traders that are down $1 million plus today on just solely Hyperliquid. Okay, a trading exchange. Is that, I'm pretty sure that's a decentralized exchange where these traders, right, like large traders, go on to trade with leverage. And 358 of those accounts lost everything and have zero balance, including one person who lost all $19 million plus in their account. Wow, guys, this is I don't know what else to say, right? But I know why this happened. I know the sinister truth behind it. In today's video, I'm going to expose it all and why this will lead to regulations. We were the first people to say it. If you guys remember correctly, I said when the only regulations will be set in place. You know when regulations will be set in place? Regulations will only be set in place when the entire crypto market loses their money. They're going to call for regulations. You guys realize, right? So this is a step-by-step plan that has been initiated yesterday, and it's going to get faster and faster as the days go by. So here's the leaderboard of all these traders losing their portfolio, guys. The white whale, his P&L for the day, minus $60 million. Past 24 hours, minus 83%. Look at this. His account value now sits at 500K, guys. Right, this person, by the way, the white whale, is this person right here on Twitter, the white whale. A post-crash pilot debrief from the white whale. $62 million gone in a flash. Guys, this is just crazy. This is why what's crazy to me is they don't care, like the insiders, these market makers who did this, guys, don't care at all that people lost their money, right? But I'm gonna keep talking about this. I don't care. I'm gonna keep bringing light into this matter, guys, right, until something happens. Something needs to happen, and it will happen. Don't worry about it. It will happen. Something. But as was repeatedly pounded into my head in pilot training, any landing you could walk away from is a good landing. Wow. Right? And then he tells the story right here, guys. Let's start with why I faced such a large liquidation, and then I'll share some observations from the last 18 hours. At one point in this year, my unrealized P&L sat at 98 out of $100 million. So his goal right here was to hit $100 million. Right? At one point, it was at $98 million. Right? And he actually surpassed that goal because some of those platforms lacked Hyperliquid's transparency. It became a mental game of proof, or it didn't happen. Leading into late September, my thesis was that because everyone expected a dip, it wouldn't happen, and I wanted to be positioned in case I was right. I wasn't, but I remained calm. I survived every black swan this year and turned each into profit before. Right? That's why trading is horrendous, guys. Right? This is why you must stay away from it. Even if you get every trade correct, right? Like even if you get like every trade correct, even black swans correct, right? You got them all right. One mistake can ruin it all. He says yesterday when someone asked how I was handling it, I admitted I cried in my wife's arm. Some mocked it with no crying in a casino, but I shared that moment intentionally because sometimes it's okay not to be okay, right? And for the record, I'm still up for the year. I'll recover, rebuild, and rise again. Wow, guys, right? At the end, you can't give up. That's the main important message here, right? You just can't give up. But this is what the market makers did yesterday. You guys realize, right? I don't think you realize what happened yesterday. I hope that this makes you realize, and I'm gonna leave these tweets in the description below. I won't forget this time, so you guys fully go through with what these people went through yesterday, right? And what was their thought process and all that stuff, guys, because this is truly heartbreaking, right? This is why there needs to be a consequence for whoever created this dump, right? And it was all planned, by the way. There needs to be consequences, and there will be, most definitely. Another account, ABC, lost 35 million. He still has 40 million, but still a rough loss right there. And then these other trades, this person lost his whole accounts, guys, right? Look at this, 21 mil, 19 million, 19, 18, 18, 18, 17 million, 17 million. These are all different accounts, by the way, right, from literally human beings. Okay, now you may be wondering, okay, how did they lose that much money though, right? When Bitcoin only dumped 10%, the reason being is because a lot of people were leveraged long on altcoins, and you guys realize this wasn't this has never happened before, right? Usually altcoins dump max like 30% or something, right? Then it cools and it goes back up, rebounds, and it keeps going down with the trend. But look at this. Literally went to like a penny. That was Atom. AVEX went down 71% here, from $30 down to $7, right? Look at XRP, the 5th largest coin, dropped minus 55%, right? SUI went down minus 83%. So let's see what caused this right now, because there are investigations already taking place by we the people that are trying to figure out what happened, who's behind this, right? Because there has to be someone behind this, right? Or multiple people, such as exchanges. In my honest opinion, I believe it's Aladdin, okay? Which ties back, so let's say Aladdin is in the heart, the core of the manipulation, right? Which is BlackRock in itself, but then its arms stretch to different exchanges, right? Different market makers and different liquidity providers, right? Is my thinking. But the hyperliquid whale short Bitcoin and Ethereum yesterday was placing shorts up till exactly 1 minute before Trump threatened tariffs against China, right? The last short was placed at 2049 GMT. Trump tweeted at 2050 GMT, literally a minute. This trader, by the way, placed. Look at this. This is crazy. So yeah, this is definitely affiliated with Trump here. This dump, because this is impossible to do, by the way, right? Look at this. He placed his last sell order here, right, short, at 2049 GMT, but Trump made the announcement of tariffs a minute later. No, actually, it was like 40 seconds later. Okay, immediately cashed out. Even John Deaton had to say this, guys. If true, this needs to be investigated. Someone just opened a Bitcoin shorts 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement and just closed with $88 million profits. He opened this account today. Now, do you guys realize? And where does it come all back to? This person right here, Trump, right? So this is what this means to me. Aladdin needed the excuse to dump markets, correct? Okay, and Aladdin, you know, which goes back to BlackRock, is like, okay, how could we dump the markets in a crazy manner? Well, we know what to do. Let's contact Trump, Donald Trump, and tell him to impose tariffs, right? Let's contact China so these two countries can attack each other with tariffs, right? Trade wars, and that will be our excuse, right? Or the excuse for why the market's dumped. But we need the markets to dump, right? Not only is it going to kill retail, we're going to get all their money because they're all leverage trading, but as well as it's what Aladdin wants, right? It's the most optimal path for BlackRock, or Aladdin, shall we say, for this market cycle. The market cycle hasn't peaked, by the way. You guys realize, right? I'm going to be explaining why tomorrow. So yes, this was clear manipulation. I'm going to be talking about this forever, literally, until something's done. This is unusual. Why? So 9:40 a.m. ET, crypto begins mysteriously selling off, right? Then Trump posts massive China tariff threat right there, and then 4:30, large whale opens multi-million-dollar short. 4:50, Trump announces 100% tariff on China. The man opened 20 minutes before the sell-off even began, right? Then the craziest liquidation candle hit right there, guys. Here's another one, right? I investigated the trader who shorted Bitcoin in ETH hours before the dump, making a total of $142 million in realized profits. On-chain analysis linked the trading address to a wallet holding 29,000 Bitcoin, worth billions of dollars, which could potentially be stolen funds. But I don't think it is. If it was, the government would have gone after him 100%, right? That's what the government does. When you get into the billions, it's no mistake, guys. Okay? This was all manufactured. Definitely, there's some affiliation with certain people right here. But this all leads back to what I've been saying. The crypto market will not have regulations until everyone loses their money. And it comes back to these certain bills getting passed, which is now going to be even, which will have more fuel for this getting passed, by the way. They're trying to kill the Clarity Act. No, this bill must pass for digital assets to become the backbone of the financial industry, right? We're going to have certain bills now getting passed easier, guys, because of all the money lost and how many people are making noise.
I don't understand you people on the left. I really don't. You're so thoroughly propagandized. What do you stand for? Honestly speaking, what do you stand for? You say you stand for democracy, and you don't get to pick your leaders. You stand for truth and transparency and objective reality, and you're the party of science and the party of intellectualism. And yet you can't even admit when your leaders have dementia and cancer, and they're deeply compromised. You say you stand for the rule of law, and no one's above the law, but then you're all totally comfortable when Hunter Biden gets a blanket pardon. And we just have to move on. And all the garbage with the Clinton initiative and this other stuff.
Let me tell you the truth here, right? All this was planned to bring upon regulations, but again, it won't be done until the collapse arrives. The collapse, I have to talk about this in another video, will make everyone lose their portfolio or wealth. The ones that survive will make it in the new world. Okay?
Say you stand for equality and equity and combating systemic racism. And when we invent a money system that can end that for everyone everywhere, you want to go and destroy it. Burn it to the ground. Offshore it. Doesn't hurt white people like me who are rich. We can go offshore. Hurts the minorities in Chicago who can't. What do you stand for? Honestly speaking, this is your leadership. I get that you hate the orange man. I get that you wake up every day and say 15 curses. Hope for the worst for him. But you know what? In January 2029, he's gone forever. And you have to live with the consequences of the actions today. How will we pay back a $50 trillion national debt if we hand away one of the fastest growing and most valuable industries in the history of the world?
And you know, now their excuse could be, well, all these people lost money. We need regulations, guys. Right? We need more clarity. We need regulations. We need investigations. So that was my point. I said this years ago. I thought it was going to happen during the collapse, but it happened actually quicker than the collapse. But again, I think things are going to get worse before it gets better. Be safe out there. Don't do anything dumb, guys. Breathe. And I hope everyone is okay mentally and physically. Wow. I don't even like looking on Twitter because of everything I'm reading. Not an angel vice. But it's Sophie's business. See ya.